Hey, how's it going, boys? Welcome to the Weekly Slap, and in typical Weekly Slap fashion, it's of course not weekly. My name's Jschlatt, and I'm here to give you videos when Jschlatt refuses to give them to me. I mean, what the hell is he even doing right now? Like playing Minecraft SMP? Yeah, no. Anyways, today's video is about how to make good YouTube videos. Not great, but good. Okay, first of all, credibility check. I am a YouTuber and I've been there for roughly 6 years, but I've made videos since I was a kid. I have a main channel that's just around 1K subs. It's not that much. I'm a tiny YouTuber, but I do know my way around things. I do know my way around the video making process, and I do have strong opinions about it. Maybe, I don't know. So let's begin, shall we? So every time someone asks me this question, which is never, I always tell them at the very beginning to not get into YouTube because of any other motive aside from creating the best videos ever. If you went into YouTube for the money or for the girls or the popularity, you might get that, but I'm from a line of thinking that if you're like that, you better scooch off YouTube, man. You gotta get out of here, because I believe being a YouTuber is something that is highly personal that no other money can change. Being a YouTuber is highly personal. So if you're not personal about being a YouTuber, then get out of here, bro. It's called YouTube. It's not money tube. That's so stupid. I'm not saying that you're not going to be successful with that goal in mind, because there are people out there who excel with that mindset. But all I'm saying is that people with this mindset, they're just stupid. You don't want to get into something because of some other motive aside from the main objective of the whole thing. If it's for YouTube, you want to go in because you want to make the best videos ever. You don't want it because of the money. And if you're coming in setting goals like making $1,000 by the end of the year, making slop content, that's cool. Good for you. But I personally feel like that takes away from the magic and the core of content creation in YouTube, which is personality and being genuine. That's what the world wants right now, and that's what this side needs right now. I usually think that numbers will come after. It's okay to want numbers. I mean, I also want to get like 100K subscribers and all that stuff, but it's really bad if you put your hopes on the numbers, if you put your motivations on the numbers, because when that goes down, like, you won't have any motivation anymore, and it's gonna set your focus elsewhere outside of making content itself, which is not good. It's not sustainable. The best way I can explain my idea is, when you're studying for a test, it doesn't really matter how much score you get. What matters is the effort that you put in. It doesn't matter how many views a video gets, how much it makes. If I put the effort, that's all that matters. That's the mindset that you gotta adapt in your fucking noggin. But that's just the ideal way of approaching this. In real life, sometimes life can get away of things. You have to focus on like other stuff and maybe make slop content. But if all else, if you went into YouTube with that passion and motivation, if your passion and motivation is pure when you started off this journey, you're going to do good, baby. Okay? You're going to go the length. So just trust that first spark of motivation. So first of all, my advice is to be personal and get your motivation straight. Next advice that I want to give to you is you got to put the you in YouTube, baby. The reason why YouTube is called YouTube, it's because it's about you, Since the advent of Mr. Beast, every YouTuber right now wants to be Mr. Beast. That's cool. That's cool and all. But remember my first lesson? Most of those people who want to get something more out of other than making content it's bad, It's really bad. It's okay to take Mr. Beast's inspiration, but you don't want to regurgitate his content. As with any other thing that you do in life, you don't want to just copy other people. That's bad. Like, even though I rarely watch the guy now, a good example of how to emulate Mr. Beast's content is Ryan Trahan. He falls in that category of the Mr. Beast type creator, but he puts his own spin to it, just enough so that his videos feel highly personal, and that's what's right. That's what YouTube wants right now, and that's the type of content that could change people. That's the shit right there. Especially with the fatigue of Mr. Beast content right now, I guess these types of videos is what people want, that raw and just genuine side of people that is really hard to come by right now on YouTube, to say the least. But then this leads to another question, which is, how do you be personal? How do you get personal? Well, I guess the best advice that I can think of is to use nostalgia. The best way to evoke this feeling is to scroll back to when you were a kid and remember which activities you like doing. Activities that makes you immersed when you're a kid, and take inspiration from that for your YouTube channel. For example, when I was like 6 years old, I used to make comics for my classmates. And I like to make these little cool stick figures, like the Henry Stickmin type of stick figures. And a while back, I've been trying to get back into making those kind of things. And it led me to creating some new characters that I can use for the rebrand of my channel, which of course doesn't lead nowhere, because the last video I uploaded turned out to be shit. But it's pretty cool because it feels highly personal to me. And when things are highly personal, it makes things unique. It makes things genuine. And that's where the gold is, baby. You got to find that personal stuff and put it in your content. It's about you, man. It's YouTube. So yeah, maybe find that like game from your childhood that you can talk about, or like a specific feeling that you can emulate from your childhood on your videos. Anything that relates to nostalgia, create something highly personal. So do that. Okay, so the next advice that I want to give to you, which is kind of underrated to be honest, is to highly curate your YouTube page. I've been doing this thing at the start of the year, and it has basically made my YouTube viewing better, and it leads me to getting more inspirations and making better videos. So how do you curate your page? First things first, you probably need to make a new YouTube channel. Start fresh, because in case YouTube has some bias on the current account. And after you make a new channel, you have to watch a couple videos on that, like on a topic that you like, maybe some Resident Evil gameplay or like some backrooms explanation, whatever it is that you like watching. Search it on the taskbar and watch a couple videos of it until the algorithm picks up on it. And finally, with these new recommendations start popping in, you want to actually engage on the videos that you really like. Because for me, I never really cared about a video, even when I really like it very much. And it's not until like last year where I noticed that I never give support to the people or to the content that I really like. So since then, I've been actively engaging and showing my support on the content that I really like by commenting on it, glazing on it. And I kind of have this playlist on my main channel where whenever I watch a transformative video, a video that's so good, I put it on like a playlist called videos that are really cool, and I put it on my main channel page, which is really nice. So comment on videos, glaze the frick out of it, and don't be afraid to optimize and min-max your subscription list to always ensure that you got good quality content on there, because it affects what you create. And so, final advice, and what I think is the best thing that you can learn out of this video, is a mindset shift. YouTube is a long game. It takes years to even get a footing on this side. And even if you do, you might lose that footing. Even people who you think blew up overnight probably had years of them failing on other channels that you don't know of. YouTube is a long process. It's a long game. Videos fail and succeed unless you're like the second coming of Mr. Beast or PewDiePie. You're not going to get viral. You're not going to get anywhere in a year or even 5 years. And when that inevitable feeling of failure happens and doubt comes creeping in, you just got to push through it, man. You just got to push through it. And there's no better way to say it. You just got to force yourself, and you got to show up. You got to keep on showing up even when there's nobody watching. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out, boys. Love you.